Welcome to the online lecture series on 8051 microcontroller. In this video tutorial, we shall discuss about interrupt vector table. Now, what is an interrupt vector table? Okay, as I have discussed earlier, so your processor will be executing some job. Suddenly, any of these 5 interrupts may come. Okay, we have 2 external interrupts and 3 internal interrupts. Okay, so when any of this interrupt comes, fine, the processor stops the execution. Okay, and it saves the address of next instruction onto the stack. Now it has to branch to the ISR, that is the interrupt service routine. In order to branch to the interrupt service routine, so the processor should know the address of that ISR. Okay, now that address, those ISR address are provided by the interrupt vector table. Okay, so these ISR addresses are fixed. What is the meaning? So if reset comes, this is the ISR address. If INT 0 comes, this is the ISR address. Okay, and the programmer should not write any code in this ISR region. Okay, okay. So the interrupt vector table provides you these ISR addresses. Okay, since we have including reset, we can consider to be 6 interrupts. Okay, so whenever reset comes, your program counter will be loaded with the value 00H. Okay, so that's the ISR address of the reset. Then when you have an interrupt on INT0 pin, that is the external hardware interrupt 0 pin, so then the ISR address of this is 0003H. Okay, so whatever the code you want to write with respect to INT0, you have to write at 0003H. And whenever you have timer overflow, that is, if you are operating the timer in mode 1 and if it overflows from FFFF to 000, then interrupt will be generated. Okay, and if you are operating in mode 2, so if there is an overflow from FF to 00, then interrupt will be generated. Okay, then if you have, so at that time the ISR address is 000BH. Okay, so here you have to write the ISR for timer 0. Then when you have interrupt on INT1 bar, that is external interrupt, then the ISR address is 0013H. Then if timer 1 overflows, okay, so interrupt will be generated and the ISR address is 001BH. Okay, and whenever you transmit a byte or receive a byte, the ISR address is 0023H. So these are all the addresses in the ROM location. Okay, and you should not write any code in these locations. Until now, we always started from 0H. Okay, we used to write org 0H. Okay, but from now, when we are discussing the interrupts, we will see that we will not disturb these locations because these locations are fixed for these interrupts ISRs. If you write some other code and when an interrupt comes, okay, so everything will be manipulated. Okay, and for reset interrupt, he has given 4 bytes, so you can write 4 bytes. Okay, the meaning is, let me show you in the Excel. Okay, so this is your ROM. Okay, so as we have seen, the vector address of reset is 00H. It starts from 00H. And the ISR address of INT0 is 03H. The ISR address of timer 0 is BH. The ISR address of INT1 external interrupt 1 is 13H. The ISR address of timer 1 is 1BH. And the ISR address of the serial interrupt is 23H. Now, so these areas should not be disturbed. Okay, these areas of the ROM, okay, ROM or flash or any non-volatile memory, this should not be disturbed. Okay, this is the first point. Okay, so until now we used to begin by writing the code org 0H. Okay, but we will not write from 0H now. We will write from some other address called 100H. Okay, we shall see when we program it. Okay, now that's the first point, that you should not disturb this location. Now second point. Okay, see here, whenever reset comes, okay, so it will come to this ISR address 000H. It's fixed. Okay, and whenever you have an interrupt on external INT0 pin, so it will come to this address 0003H. Now what is important is, so the starting address of INT0 is 0003H. What does it mean is, whenever reset occurs, okay, in order to write the ISR, that is the interrupt service routine of the reset, he has provided you only 3 bytes. Okay, meaning, see, you have 0, 1, 2. So how many bytes? So you have to restrict the code of the reset ISR only to 3 bytes. What if you write more than 3 bytes? Then it will come to the next location, okay, which is the ISR area for INT0. Now similarly, okay, assume in a program you are using both INT0 interrupt as well as timer interrupt. Okay, so whenever an interrupt occurs in interrupt occurs at the INT0 pin, so it will first branch to this ISR address 0003H. Okay, so now from 0003H to 00AH you have 8 bytes. Okay, so you have to write the ISR for INT0 such that it should contain only 8 bytes. Okay, what is the meaning? Suppose, say in this ISR code, okay, let me say, suppose, so the starting address is 0003H. Okay, so I will write some ISR code here, move a comma b, and say move a comma hash 45H. Fine, and move port 0 comma 30H. Okay, increment a, some code I am writing. So this is my ISR address. Okay, now how many bytes this instruction takes? 1, this takes 2, this takes 2, so 4, 5, this takes 1. Let me write one more instruction, add a comma 40H. Okay, and the last instruction in the ISR is I return. Fine, so this takes 2. So totally how many bytes now? 8 bytes. Okay, so how it will be stored? So because, so whenever an interrupt comes on INT0 pin, it will automatically branch to this location 0003H because this is fixed. So this will be stored at 003H. So next address will be 004H. Next will be 006H. Next will be 008H. Okay, next will be 0009H. Okay, and since this takes 2 bytes, okay, so the next address will be 000AH. So 1 3 5 6 7 and 8. Okay, so this code, so this ISR will have no problems. Okay, why? Because you have consumed exactly 8 bytes. Okay, now suppose by mistake if you write, say, two more instructions, let me say decrement A and say some increment A. How many bytes this takes? This takes one more byte, this takes one more byte. So what will be the next address? So this will be 00AH, this will be 000BH, and this, fine. Now see what happens. Now 00BH, okay, this is the address area of ISR timer 0. So if you're writing the code more than 8 bytes in an ISR, then it will corrupt the next ISR. Okay, so every ISR has been given an area of 8 bytes. See, if you are using only one interrupt, suppose among these 5 interrupts you are using only INT0 interrupt, then there is no restriction. Okay, you can have, in fact it is not a good idea to write a lengthier code in the interrupt. The code of the interrupt should be as less as possible. Okay, that's the base rule. Fine. So if you're not using any other interrupt and you're using only one interrupt, then all this problem will not come. Now suppose assume you are using INT0 as well as timer 0 interrupt now. And if you're writing a code which is greater than 8 bytes, what's happening? So you have crossed into the timer 0 ISR area and you have corrupted those locations where you had written the code for timer 0. Fine. So whenever you write an ISR for any of these 5 interrupts, you should restrict only to 5 bytes. Sorry, you should restrict only to 8 bytes. Okay, that's an good programming. Okay, fine. So that's about the interrupt vector table. Okay, thank you.